Call it government magic or power or what you like. Electricity subsidy is gone, and for good. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has let it be known that the federal government has quietly removed the subsidy on electricity tariff. Speaking during a virtual meeting of the African finance ministers and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, the minister said a planned gradual and quiet removal of subsidies on petrol is on course. GKB, are you surprised? Are you amused? Are you angry?
No, not surprised, not amused, not angry, just relieved. Because sometimes
the anxiety is gone.
Sometimes it's very hard to know that you are going to get a particular punishment. There's somebody to keep telling you that you'll be okay. Don't worry, there's no injection. Don't worry, you're not getting injection.
Some people claim the positive.
Yeah,
it is well.
That you only get drugs, but there'll be no injection. At least the woman is applying the injection now. You will be relieved. Incidentally, again, like when we started, the job of government is security, power generation, which some people assume is a security matter, has now been thrown open as a business venture. Most people don't realize that in most countries, keeping a cap on certain public utilities is a fundamental security matter. But where we are, removing every pretense that we are doing anything, and we're now at the mercy of the discourse. We've been at the mercy of discourse for a while, but they keep pretending.
And be dancing to the disco.
Because we have nothing to do.
Disco music.
Every time they increase the tariff, they increase it quietly. If you are buying a unit that will last you a week before, to now last you 2 days, you make inquiries. At the time you call this funny agency, Electricity Regulatory Commission, and they laugh to your face.
NERC.
Because they even pretend they know what's going on. So we just have to take our medicine like men, pretend that we don't, and move on.
Adekilo, you are not angry, you are not amused.
No, I'm angry. I'm angry.
Oh, okay.
So don't tell me I'm not angry.
Okay, vent your spleen.
Okay, because you said you have removed subsidy. Oh, great. We know. Whether you said it openly or quietly or secretly, we know. Some of us do know. What has happened? There is poor electricity supply today than at any point that I know in my life. Sometimes in my part of Lagos, and I'm not living in the worst part of Lagos, in a week, we only have 2 hours electricity. It's not a question of whether you have bad transformer. No. So when you have
it's supply
persistent, and it's not a sudden thing, persistent for months. And
power outage.
Yes, I am on platform of is it the disco. You will see them giving excuses. They gave us little supply. You see all the excuses from authorities and all that.
Are you on prepaid or postpaid?
I'm on
prepaid.
Prepaid. It was hellish when I was prepaid.
Don't even remember.
They will give each flat for something, 30-something thousand.
Flat rates.
Where we used to pay 3,000. Flat rates. Everybody. And they don't know the Nigerian discourse. So ignorant that they don't even know there's a difference. Somebody who is living in 1-room apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and 3. So they slam the same thing on everybody. Then when we fought and we bought prepaid, they carried all the backlogs, because as somebody was paying 10,000, all of a sudden he said he should be paying 37. So we all agreed we started paying 10,000. All the balance they carried and put on our prepaid. Up to now, I still have close to 300,000
outstanding.
Good. So the question that we ask, you remove this. What are the benefits?
None.
We have worse power outages than at any point. So what has improved in the electricity sector?
Supply.
Nobody should celebrate because you tell me you have removed subsidy. If you remove subsidy, what are we getting in return?
Yeah, should you get something?
Better service. That's what Nigerians deserve. And that's why they are in office.
Okay.
When they are in office, the Nigerian state takes good care of them. remunerate them very
my
well.
happy
And
account,
we're expecting them to do the work.
GKB, my happy account is that, yes, I'm on prepaid, but I haven't seen the NEPA man in months, many months now.
And you enjoy steady.
No. The only thing that's happy about it, I don't see NEPA people.
They don't bring unmerited.
But they will soon be coming now. They are going around now to check whether people are stealing power.
Okay. Oh, steal power from where?
I don't know.
Okay, we should have a public affairs analyst, Achike Chude, joining us. Achike, good afternoon to you. Achike is still not available, but at the moment we can go to Abuja and sound Baba Jide Otitoju out. Jide, so the tariff on electricity is out.
Petrol is coming.
And we are waiting for petrol. Are you angry? Are you surprised? Are you amused?
Hello.
Okay.
So.
Oh.
Yeah, Jide, sorry. I said, yeah, tariff subsidy on electricity is gone. And so are you surprised? Are you amused? Are you angry? You want to go to court?
No. No. The truth is, the World Bank had been warning us to do away with these subsidies. That with these subsidies in place, we will not be able to free funds that we can actually use to freshen up infrastructure in our country as a means of even boosting the economy. When the power companies were sold, the power utilities were sold in 2013, what we expected was that they would be sold to companies that had capacity and would therefore not need any form of intervention from government. But as we have seen over the years, government has been spending money repeatedly on by way of subsidies for to ensure that the tariff does not go too high. But it is not sustainable. In March 2017, for example, FEC approved 701 billion through the CBN, and he called it power assurance guarantee. In 2019, federal government spent the sum of 600 billion to bridge the shortfall in payment of monthly invoices by key stakeholders in the sector. So in 8 years, the Nigerian government will have spent 1.5 trillion to keep the sector afloat. So at some point, we know that this subsidy had to go because there's the issue of cost reflective tariff. These companies are saying that based on the subsisting tariff that they will not be able to make money. And the government also thinks that even bigger companies cannot come into Nigeria to invest in that sector because the tariff was not cost reflective, meaning that they were charging way below what could actually give them profit or what they should actually charge, meaning that cost of production is actually higher than what is charged the end user. So at some point, government felt that this subsidy had to go so that it will no longer be giving money. Even the issue of meters, these guys could not provide meters to Nigerians. The government had to come up with money again to support them. So a country that is borrowing loans, taking loans here and there, yet it is keeping subsidies in place? It's difficult to explain, because we are just not as buoyant as we want the world to believe. If we are taking loans here and there, why are we keeping subsidies in place? The only problem that I see is we are not even generating or transmitting enough. A lot of our people are still in darkness, and I'm convinced that if we can provide sufficient electricity, Nigerians will be ready to pay. I know some neighborhoods in Lagos, for example, where they are now guaranteed at least 23 hours of electricity, but such people are prepared to pay because they are now used to enjoying light. It wasn't like that before. So another thing, government, the power companies, the discos must also be able to recover their monies that are out there. It was reported that government agencies were owing as much as 100 billion naira. So instead of pushing the burden on the ordinary people, why not do your best to recover your more than 100 billion that the government agencies and parastatals are owing you? There's no reason, for example, for the armed forces to not pay for electricity that they use. You can't simply threaten people because you are wearing a uniform and you have a rifle. No, this is business, and they have to pay for it. But we must get, if Nigerians are going to pay so much more, there must be guarantee that the services will be provided and sufficiently too.
JKB, and come to look at this, I don't need any fortune teller to tell me that electricity supply is at the base of our fortune.
Yeah.
Supply electricity and the value of the naira will go up because we will
become more productive.
Productive goods and services and so on.
Go up, yeah.
But to have sold electricity to discos and giving them money at the same time, to me, is a monkey business.
But you know, it's even gorilla business. When you remember, there was a time we were mandated to pay 1,000 per household for service charge, whether you consume light or not.
Okay.
And then we did a story, and then we realized that the discos were raking in on the average 1.5 billion a month just for service charge. You don't have to supply you. They don't have to do anything. Just that this is the standard money they will make from every household in Nigeria. That's how bad it was. So that's why I said I was very relieved. Because right now, all those shenanigans will go. You can now do business with the discos based on the need. A lot of my friends are going solar. I know that for a fact. A lot of my friends have decided that NEPA will be the backup. Or disco will be the backup. And it's, according to them, it's working. Invest a little money and you want to control your consumption.
Yeah.
The disco thing will become, and I realize the fact that it's true. Because if a lot of people, private citizens like us, have access to such a technology, and whatever they are charging will be minimal to what we need.
Yeah.
And it's prepaid. So I refuse to buy.
Away from all these things he is telling us, transmission is a key factor here, because all these cross-country cables were designed to hold 5 kilowatts, 5 megawatts,
maximum,
rather,
yeah.
you know. But
I think it's 7.
now today we produce, we can't transmit.
Even when we produce, what do we produce?
7.
Nigerians, we don't produce enough quantum of electricity for our country. And it's a shame. Go to Republic of Benin. You say it's a tiny West African country. Go there. You spend 1 month.
But is it true we supply them?
We supply, yes. It's officially.
Where does the light we supply them come from?
Then you have to ask, the powers that be.
I think they are those who are paying are giving first order. Niger Republic.
What you prioritize?
No, it's about the Niger thing. Don't forget. That's how we started.
Straight. And you remember that, do you know that in some, for example, military formations, you enjoy more light, universities, and other. It's what you prioritize. In other countries, they prioritize the industries. because they believe economy is the soul of everything. Here we don't do that.
You know, the 10 power stations erected by the Obasanjo government, I thought was going to be a big relief to us.
See, so far in the last 10 years, we haven't made any significant progress in the power sector. Forget the rhetoric.
Something was going to be done with the Mandela Plateau.
You know, power roadmap that was done long time ago. The sector was privatized at the most wrong time and given to the wrong hands. Okay.
For the wrong reasons.
All right. We are joined now by a public affairs analyst, Achike Chude. Achike, good afternoon. Welcome. Okay. Achike, we are looking at the tariff, electricity tariffs finally removed. Are you angry? Are you surprised? Are you amused?
Petrol won't come.
Well, I wouldn't know how to. If it is, if it's amusement on my part, it will be the kind of amusement that comes out of not knowing what to do because you know, over time you're just used to the absurdity that is going on in the country. So you know there is a way somebody that should be crying begins to laugh. So I think it is that kind of absurdity that we'll find ourselves in. Of course, I'm not amused. Of course, I am angry. Of course, this is what is supposed to be the great savior for Nigerians. You don't forget that at every point in time that federal, government officials had that opportunity, they would always tell us that the government had no business in business. And they would tell us about the non-performance of government enterprises and that the way to go is the way of privatization. And of course, you know that the privatization agenda has been driven all this while by the Bretton Woods Institute. That is, the capitalist, countries of the world. So they have seen it as the panacea, the solution that will solve all the problems of public institutions and enterprises that are not working. And so the fact that we have gotten back to where we are today, where we were before, inefficiency, inability of some of these institutions that have been privatized to deliver, on their objectives is clearly an indication that something obviously is wrong. Of course, you also look at it from the very beginning, how these assets were acquired in the first place. The fact that the right thing was not done at the right time. And we've always made this argument, even with regards to the Nigerian Federation, that once the foundation is right, it's wrong. Every other thing that you put on that foundation, is also wrong. So what we are having are foundational issues. And so every other thing that emanates from that, obviously, we tell you that, they are not working. The prices have gone up. But again, it's not just the prices of electricity. Virtually everything in this country has gone up over the past 15 years. It has been worse in the past 6 years. And so, but again, we must not forget the fact that when they talked about embarking on this price increase, there was this saber rattling from the Nigerian Labour Congress and a warning to the government about how debilitating it will be.
Achike, I must interject here. Achike, I must stop you here because you didn't quite join us in good time. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your insight. But if you are aggrieved, go to court. Did I make a point there?
Yeah.